Too close. Jungkook and Jimin are in the spotlight. The relationship between Jungkook and Jimin is back in the spotlight after various moments of their closeness backstage, and in public spaces sparked a wave of conversation from Korean media to international entertainment portals. In the past few days, their names have been on the top of trending topics, as if the world was suddenly reminded that the two BTS members have an unusual friendship dynamic. Too warm to be considered just colleagues, too sincere to be called fan service content, and too natural to be mentioned by the company. And precisely because of that, every little interaction between Jungkook and Jimin has now turned into endless talk. It all started with a short video recorded by fans at an internal event that was not made public. In the video, Jungkook is seen approaching Jimin from behind, patting him on the shoulder, then laughing before ruffling Jimin's hair like a little brother being courted. In the next instant, Jimin turned his head, lightly struck Jungkook's arm, and the two laughed like two best friends who had understood each other without the need for words. The simple moment instantly made the media excited. Some outlets wrote that the two looked too close, while foreign portals called their chemistry an almost inseparable emotional bond. The spotlight heated up even more when one of the Korean entertainment journalists wrote a column about how Jungkook and Jimin's closeness never faded from year to year, even after the two walked their respective career paths during a hiatus in the group's activities. Many noted that after BTS entered the individual phase, Jungkook and Jimin's relationship seemed to be getting stronger. Jungkook often refers to Jimin as someone he trusts, while Jimin repeatedly says that Jungkook is the person he relies on the most when the world feels heavy. The media began to quote their old statements, rewrite them, and lead the opinion that maybe the two have a relationship more than just friends. Social media exploded instantly. ARMY is torn between those who think it's all just a normal dynamic of two close friends and those who are happy to speculate. Some fans even put together snippets of old videos, photos, and interactions from trainee to adult life, building a narrative that the two do have an emotional connection that not everyone can understand. While others judged that the media had exaggerated and twisted things that were actually nothing more than the warmth that had indeed become the hallmark of BTS's friendship. But what makes this issue even wilder is not just the physical interaction in the video, but Jungkook's comments in a live stream. Unknowingly, Jungkook mentions that Jimin is the person who has been contacting him the most lately. Those words sparked all sorts of speculation. What is going on? Why is Jimin, who used to be known to be quite secretive, has recently been seen looking for Jungkook more and more? Are they both working on something together? Or is there another reason behind it all? The media began to pack it as a mystery worth following. Some Korean entertainment analysts consider that Jungkook and Jimin's closeness is actually not something surprising when viewed from BTS's long history. They go through adolescence to adulthood together, going through a lot of pressure, criticism, and fear behind the scenes. They learn to dance together, practice vocals until the early hours of the morning, and sometimes cry in exhaustion that only a person experiencing the same can understand. In such conditions, the emotional bond formed is not something that can be judged by the standards of ordinary friendship. It's a family relationship, but with more complex dynamics tied to work, popularity, and public pressure. But the world of entertainment is never satisfied with just a simple answer. When two people look too close, then rumors are an inevitable consequence. And that's what's happening with Jungkook and Jimin. A number of columnists even wrote that their closeness in recent times felt more intense than in previous years. Some argue that since both are now active as soloists, they may find comfort in each other amid the rush and high expectations. Some believe that since they have rarely appeared together lately, every moment of togetherness has become more memorable. What's interesting is how both respond to this spotlight. Jimin remained in his gentle manner, not commenting too much, but smiling whenever asked about Jungkook. Many noticed that the little smile always contains something warm, as if Jimin knew that their relationship was strong enough not to be disturbed by outside opinions. While Jungkook, as usual, tends to be spontaneous. He laughed a few times when he read the comments of fans who discussed their closeness. Once upon a time, Jungkook briefly replied on Weverse with words that made fans even more emotional. "We are indeed close. It always does." International media also reported on the phenomenon. Several journalists from America wrote that the Jungkook Jimin duo has a unique charm that makes them always relevant for the news. Some called the two-inch icons of the friendship of the modern K-pop era, while others praised how they have maintained a genuine relationship amid the pressures of Korea's notoriously violent entertainment industry. But not all the news was positive. Some media outlets began to create exaggerated narratives, as if their closeness was a matter to be questioned. Others wrote provocative titles such as, "Are Jungkook and Jimin too close?" or "Their relationship is suspicious." This is what then sparked a heated debate among netizens. The protective army felt that the media had overstepped its bounds by expressing the closeness of BTS members as something to be doubted. They flooded the comments with criticism, asking the media to stop exacerbating the narrative that is actually very normal in human relationships. On the other hand, excessive attention actually makes many people wonder, why is Jungkook and Jimin's closeness always a sensitive issue? Perhaps the answer is because there are so many emotions, histories, and important moments attached to their relationship. Fans have followed their journey from adolescence to becoming world superstars. Every little change in their dynamics feels significant, as if it touches an emotional part in the fans who grew up with BTS over the years. In the end, were Jungkook and Jimin really too close, as the media said? Or has the world simply forgotten that human closeness does not actually need to be always explained? One thing's for sure, these highlights won't ruin anything. If anything is clear from this story, it's how these two friends maintain a warm, sincere, and just the way relationship, even as millions of eyes watch their every move. The media can speculate, netizens can argue, but Jungkook and Jimin still stand as two young men who grew up together on an incredible journey. And perhaps that's precisely what makes their closeness a story that never tires of being told. Because what they have is so real, so human, and so rarely found in the world of entertainment full of falsehoods. If such closeness is considered too close, then perhaps the world does need to learn more about the meaning of sincere relationships. The spotlight on Jungkook and Jimin didn't stop at just that viral moment. The longer, the more new footage comes back to the surface, as if the world is suddenly vying to dig into every second of their interaction to find the reason why the two seem so close. The old fans may have been used to seeing their typical intimacy, but for the media, especially the media who are new to following BTS's dynamics after the global era, those moments are considered as something interesting to analyze. In other words, Jungkook and Jimin's closeness is no longer just a relationship, but an entertainment topic that has high news value. What made the atmosphere even more heated was the emergence of footage showing Jimin visiting Jungkook's studio at night. The video was reportedly recorded by someone who accidentally saw them in the parking area of the building, and immediately the media moved quickly. Some wrote that Jimin came to provide emotional support because Jungkook was preparing for a new project. Some speculated that they were working on something together, maybe a duet song or a special project. But there were also those who deliberately muddled the atmosphere, saying that the intensity of their meetings in recent months was unusual compared to other pairs of members. In fact, if pulled far back, the togetherness of the two is like an inherent part of BTS's journey itself. Jungkook once told how Jimin was the one who taught him many things during his trainee days, including how to control emotions and how to understand the pressure of debuting. Jimin, on the other hand, often admits that Jungkook has a soft side that is not widely known to the public, and that is what makes him look after Jungkook like his own younger brother. That bond that began to form from adolescence is now growing into a more mature relationship, and precisely because of this, every little moment between them feels deeper than it seems.